Coming up on the Morning Journal, we celebrate Mother's Day with our nearest and dearest. Scarlett heads over to the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre. We have another instalment of Ask Jazz. The girls give us a lesson in Italian cooking and try their hand at the beanboozled challenge. We have a great show for you, so stay tuned.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Journal. My name is Sarah.
And I'm Jasmine. Before we begin the show, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land, the Wurundjeri people, and pay our respects to elders both past and present. We also extend our acknowledge to elders from other communities who may be watching today.
We have a lot coming up on the show this week, so to keep track, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Morning Journ, and don't forget you can watch us replayed on upstart.net.au or live in the Latrobe Agora.
I'm so excited for this week's show, but first let's grab the news headlines with Sarah.
Thanks, Jasmine. So a new campaign may be underway from the opposition. A coalition has no plans to outbid Labor on income tax, with Treasurer Scott Morrison saying the government will stick to its 7-year plan. Bill Shorten used his budget reply speech on Thursday night to announce support for the government's planned $530 offset for low and middle income earners, and then go further. Labor's $5.8 billion plan will give a $350 a year refund to people earning $25,000, rising to $928 a year for people earning up to $90,000. Above that, the extra refund tapers down to $140 for people earning $120,000 a year. But Mr. Morrison rejected suggestions he could match Labor's cuts. A Mother's Day tragedy. A South Australian teenager has been killed in a car crash with her mum behind the wheel. The car rolled into the state's mid-north on Mother's Day morning, resulting in a 15-year-old girl dead at the scene and 6 injured. For sport, a Valentine Holmes double proved the difference as injury hit Claruna enjoyed a courageous 24-16 NRL comeback win over Canberra at GIO Stadium. The Sharks' 4th straight victory was built around their fullback's dramatic redemption after costing the Sharks an early converted try. World Series Rugby gathered a large crowd at the NIB Stadium for Western Force post a 47-17 victory over the Tongan representative side in Sunday's clash. The concept will now go on a short break before resuming on June 9 when the Force take on the Melbourne Rebels. A lot happening around the world over the weekend as suicide bombers riding motorcycles attacked 3 churches during Sunday mass congregations across Indonesia's second largest city of Surabaya today, killing at least 11 people and wounding more than 40 others. Members of one family, including a mother with young children, were behind several blasts targeting churches in Indonesia. Israel's representative, Neta Brasilia, wins Eurovision Grand Final with her song Toy About Bullying. This is the 4th win in the contest for Israel, and they will be the host country for the next competition. Australia's representative, Jessica Mauboy, finished 20th place. A knife attack in Paris has resulted in 4 people stabbed, 1 dead and another attacker shot dead by police. The tragedy took place in the Opera district of central Paris Saturday evening. France has been on high alert for terrorist attacks over the recent years. However, police say the motive behind this incident is still unclear. North Korea has announced it will dismantle its nuclear test site in less than 2 weeks, an event that would set up leader Kim Jong-un's summit with US President Donald Trump next month. Analysts say that while the closure of the site is important, it doesn't represent a material step towards full denuclearization. And that is it for news this morning. It has been quite a busy weekend over and around the world, and a lot of tragedies going on.
Yeah.
Hasn't been great.
Yeah. But it is budget time this year, so that's exciting. Always exciting to hear about the budget.
Yeah. Very action-packed event that goes on in Parliament. And we actually have a member of the Student Union here at Latrobe who was in Canberra at the time of the federal budget, here to talk about what happened over there. Thank you for joining us, Jake. Glad to have you on the show.
G'day, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So tell us a bit about, your experience up in Canberra. So what did you do there?
So usually every year I go along to Canberra through the Latrobe Labour Club. They run a yearly event. This year I went along in my role as National Union of Students General Secretary. to go up there and try and lobby the government to put some student-friendly policies into their budget and try and think of students when they're making their federal budget.
So what were the things that you saw? Did you go into any events in particular?
Didn't go into any events. We went into the media lineup, which is pretty extreme. The media lineup is essentially where all different organisations line up for about 30 and get a 30-second reel just to sort of pitch their budget and hope that you kind of get picked up by the nightly news.
And what was the atmosphere like at the time in Canberra?
It's an exciting time, budget. It's super exciting. It's one of the busiest times of the year. It's kind of the make or break of the government as well, especially with the federal election coming up next year. So it was a really exciting time. Unfortunately, there wasn't too many great or brand new changes that we didn't see, but it's a really good atmosphere up there.
What sort of things did you pitch while you were over there? Like, what were your where do you want students to receive from the budget?
So what we were lobbying the government for was a 1%, an increase from 0.7 to 1%. Percentage towards education GDP. Also an increase of $100 a week New Start. And then lastly, we would like them to be able to legislate 50% SAF.
Okay,
Yep.
Sounds good.
And so what was one of the highlights of your experiences over there?
Definitely a highlight for me was just being able to see how kind of the legislative process works and the kind of process of, the budget speech and then the budget reply. Going in and watching kind of the Liberal government operate and give their reply. It was very structured. It was very towards an older audience, I think, because that's kind of where their voter base is. And then going into the budget reply to watch the Labor government give their speech. It was a lot more younger. It was a lot more energetic because obviously they're in opposition and they're going to try and come back next election.
Do you think that uni students or young people should be more involved in politics and the budget? Because I feel like, I know myself, I don't know a lot. Do you feel like that's something that we should be focusing on?
Look, I can totally understand that people don't want to be involved in the budget and politics more in general. There's nothing really that exciting about sitting in a room watching people do statistics.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
But I don't know, if you have a passion, if you have kind of a passion to see a little bit of difference in the world, then politics is definitely a way to go. And a good government will always budget for good tangible change. So
I did see that they're putting in a lot of money for nursing homes.
Yeah,
which is good. So $8.25 million over the 4 years for mental health services at nursing homes. And I actually used to volunteer at nursing homes, and I did notice that the facilities there weren't enough, and the staff didn't have enough, and they were understaffed. They couldn't cater for all of the people in there. So they're really focusing on that, as well as their mental health, obviously, because it can be quite sad to be at an aged care facility. But it's good that they're putting money into that. That was the one thing that I noticed.
Yeah, absolutely. You said the Labor Club does this every year. So how many years have you been going for, and what have been some of the differences each time?
So I went 2 years with the Labor Club and then 1 year with NUS. In the 2 years with the Labor Club, it's kind of interesting. So you always went up and watched the reply speech because it was Bill Shorten giving the reply. And in the first year, he was super energetic. It was kind of like he just lost his election, but he was ready to be pumped and keep going. And then the second year, he's a little bit more modest. And then this year, he's come back with just really kind of big policies to take into the election. So it's really interesting to kind of see how the government and the opposition operate kind of over the 3 years.
So what's your end result with politics? Do you want to move up in somewhere in the government? Is that your plan?
Me personally?
Yeah, you personally.
No way.
Not for you.
I'd like to do some sort of government relations and just sort of help the government out, but more on an independent side of aspect.
Right, so more behind the scenes sort of thing.
Yeah, that's why NUS is so great.
And have you always been interested in politics? Is this something that you've always had?
No. I kind of detested it when I was younger. My mum was always really into it. She was really into the kind of the union movement and really into particularly more left side of politics. And I was just kind of like, this isn't for me. This is boring. And then little old Jake came to uni, and next minute, he's going on to
flooded with politics at uni.
Yeah,
you can't
exactly.
avoid it.
Can't run away, apparently.
It sounds like a great experience. So how many members of the Labor Club went, and where did you guys stay? What was your experience in Canberra?
So I can't really speak too much on this year's trip, but previously there's been around 30 to 40 people. We go up, we spend a full day in Parliament. We get to go on, speak to MPs. We get to speak to all these different great people. And then we sit down and watch the budget reply speech at night. And then we go and get a steak at the best place in all of Australia, the Kingo. And usually that's where politicians come down after their kind of long day at Canberra and long week at Canberra. And then they have a chat to us a bit more informally, which is really exciting.
Politicians like steak.
Yes,
definitely. So if you need to pitch something, that's where you go.
Yes,
Have a steak with a politician.
Buy them a steak.
Great steak with some just gravy poured over the top, just hand it over. Look, I really want this to happen for the world, so just take this steak and consider it.
Yes.
Straight out.
Politicians aren't actually allowed to be vegetarians.
Oh, really?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm totally kidding.
I was going to say, that was a bit of a fun fact.
gullible.
Yeah. No,
I took it.
Yeah. No,
It's
completely.
Policy before you start.
Yeah.
Have to like steak.
So what are some things that you've learnt while you've been on these experiences? What has some of the knowledge that you take back?
Oh.
There's probably a lot, but what is the things that you've really used in your, I guess, life here at university that you've learnt in Canberra on how Parliament runs and how government runs and things like that?
I think a thing that I learnt kind of just sort of experience in being involved in like politics and things more broadly is learning, kind of what you can do and what you can't do. Obviously, we'd all love to just be able to come in and say, yep, we want to do everything right now. But it's kind of a process and it is a long process. And I know that's kind of the political jargon that you hear from politicians all the time, but it really is true. It's kind of, you have to really, when trying to make a difference, I think you really have to kind of focus on what change can I make, what's important change, and how are kind of the tangible steps I can get there. And I think that was really what these experiences give you.
Was there anything that surprised you about going to Canberra? Anything you didn't expect to experience?
Not so much Canberra. Canberra doesn't really change. But
True.
in the budget, the thing that kind of surprised me was this whole $10 a week tax break and the $3 a week tax break for lower income earners. I kind of found that it was a little strange because the Liberals typically like to favour more the big business end of town. And this year they kind of reverted back and were like, oh, we actually have to focus on young people. We actually have to focus on lower income earners. What's going on? But I think that Australians are kind of a little bit more acutely aware to kind of that $10 a week doesn't, change a lot of things. The $3 a week doesn't buy us our textbooks at the end of the year. So
True.
So the La Trobe Labour Club, how can students at La Trobe University get involved with that?
Just message the Facebook page. They usually have a stall around the Agora, but if you don't see them on the stall, message the Facebook page and
so what was what was that called? La Trobe Labour Club?
La Trobe Labour Club, yeah.
Awesome. So I definitely will be looking at that after this. It sounds really interesting. Not that politics is necessarily my forte, but the federal budget is something that I've always wanted to just understand more, gain a bit of knowledge, as at the end of the day, these results and the things that they discuss in Parliament, they do affect everybody here. Yeah. So I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
More than welcome. Thank you for
having me. It's been great. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
So speaking of those in need,
we've got Scarlett and Tynique.
Yes, they visited the Asylum Resource Centre last week to raise awareness for all they contribute to society. So let's take a look.
The Asylum Seeker Resource Centre in Footscray has built up a successful cleaning business to offer job opportunities and a chance for autonomy to people seeking asylum in Australia.
The mission of ASRC Cleaning since we started was that to provide job, fair employment for people seeking asylum, provide them with lots of training like occupation health and safety training, cleaning techniques, and we help them to get some soft skill, be like customer service, and they get day-to-day support until they're ready to work independently.
The purpose of this social enterprise is to create a lucrative business that can generate money to help those who it employs. ASRC Cleaning is a non-profit organisation that funnels all revenue back into training and support services.
So the idea of social enterprises was helping people seeking asylum to get their first job. As we know, people seeking asylum, they have lots of challenges. So they come to the new country. So the first challenge is language. So they don't know English very well. So they need lots of support. Second one is that they don't have local experience. So it's hard for them to find their first job in Australia.
The language barrier and the lack of Australian work experience are some obvious hurdles that asylum seekers face, but there are also cultural adjustments that can cause problems when seeking work.
People, they don't know the culture. Something which is good in the Australian culture might not be good in the other culture. So if I want to give you an example, like eye contact is something in some culture is really rude and bad. So these small cultural barriers can make like a difference in their life. They don't know these things.
ASRC Cleaning gives people wanting to start a new life in Australia a chance, an opportunity to break into the job market. Despite the various challenges that people seeking asylum face, the Turnbull government is set to slash funding to SRSS support services, which will leave thousands of people seeking protection in Australia at risk of destitution. With this lack of government support, independent organisations such as the ASRC are creating new solutions to help those who are rebuilding their lives in Australia.
It's so challenging. People have lots of traumas and lots of challenges, and we're dealing with them. But at the end of the day, this job can help them to improve their confidence, their self-dignity. They have a reason to come out of home every day. They can meet other people. They can communicate with people, and they can get to know the culture, get to know people in Australia.
This has been Scarlett Maloney for The Morning Journal.
What a great interview. It's so good to see that there are people out there helping these refugees start a new life and fit into society and, find their place again.
Oh, 100%. The ASRC Health Centre has been offering health services to people seeking asylum in Victoria since 2002, and it's the largest facility of its kind in Australia. So it provides a range of primary health services for people seeking asylum in the community and prioritises people seeking asylum without access to Medicare. It plays an important role in upholding health as a human right, which is, at the end of the day, our human rights, things like that, and self-decency, being healthy and having that ability to live. It is one of the most important things, I believe.
Every human should have that 100%.
Oh, completely.
Well, speaking of hard work and people that are helping us out, Mother's Day was yesterday.
Yes, it was.
How was your Mother's Day? What did you get your mum? What did you get up to?
It was quite busy. I started my day with giving Mum breakfast in bed because she deserves that. And then we went on a little shopping day, and then we had lunch in the city. And then from lunch in the city, I actually had to go visit my dad because my parents are separated and they're both remarried. So I visited my stepmum as well for Mother's Day, which was beautiful. And it was my Nana's 70th, so we threw a surprise birthday for her at the house, which happened later. So we had people fly around from Sydney and Adelaide to come down to see that here in Melbourne. And then from that, I actually got to see later on my other grandparents. They just came back from their holiday in Egypt, so they surprised us. So we got to see all my nanas and all my mums and every member of my family on Mother's Day.
You did the whole shebang, not just the mum. It's like 4 times the amount of love.
Oh, they all deserve the recognition on the day.
Of course.
So, how was your day? Tell me a bit about it.
Mine was very, very good. It was very relaxed. So we had pancakes in the morning, which is like a Sunday ritual, to have the pancakes with the Nutella and, the strawberries. And then I gave Mum her gifts, and I bought her this cute pyjama set and this burgundy vest, but she wasn't a fan of it, and I'm really upset, but that's okay. I'll take her back and we can look at something else. But then we went to both of my Bubba's house, which for those who don't know is Macedonian for grandma. So I went and visited them, we gave them their gift, and we had KFC. Yum. Don't want to have the Bubba cooking on Mother's Day. You want her to relax.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's great.
So we had some KFC, and then I went to my other Bubba's house, and we ate there. I really just ate and said I love everyone.
Yeah.
That's what I did for Mother's Day.
That's what I love about occasions. I can just tell everyone that I love them and indulge in food, and it's just the best day ever.
Exactly. I feel like because it can be so stressful this time of year. I feel like I think it's a good thing that Mother's Day falls around this time of year, because it's good to recognise the people around you and remember how good it is to have these sort of people in your life, because I feel like uni can get so stressful around this time of year. So it's good to relax, take a step back and just spend time with family.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's so important to keep remembering that at the moment. Because uni and work and all that is so busy, my spare time is spent a lot more with my family nowadays, just because that's really where I want to be, and it is a place that makes me the happiest, just being at home.
Course.
So yeah, it was a really good Mother's Day, and it was good to just see Mum like that, be happy and be spoiled, because I feel like I've definitely, because I'm so busy all the time, that I neglect giving her the attention and recognition she deserves on a daily.
You forget to thank people because you're just so caught up in your own life. So I feel like Mother's Day is a really good day to just give back, give back to our lovely mums. And also I think it's good to recognise about the mothers that have passed away. I understand that Mother's Day can be very hard for some people who don't have a mum around. So it's always good to acknowledge that as well. But in general, a really good day for people to just spend time with their mum and reflect on who their mum is and the person that they are today because of their mum.
Yeah, and even reflecting on what's important, I believe. So to celebrate Mother's Day, the team here at the Morning Journal actually put together a little something special for you guys. So let's take a look.
Hi Mum. Hi Rachel. How are you? I'm pretty good. So today we've decided to ask all of the mums from the show what's the best thing about being a mum. So let's take a look.
The best thing about being a mum is having laughter and having fun times with your children.
What does motherhood mean to you?
Motherhood means to be there for each other in good times and in challenging times, and laughing and enjoying each other's company.
When your kids grow up and they make you proud, that's the joys of being a mum. It's like you've done a good job.
What's the best part about being a mum/grandmother?
The best part about being a mother or a grandmother is that your children love you and help you, and you help them, and it's a good family.
I think because of my children, it has always inspired me and pushed me to become a much nicer person, a much stronger person, a much funnier person because of having them in my life. And all of those strengths and those skill sets that I've had to develop make all of the work, all of the tears, everything worthwhile.
I think having both you and Tynique is the best thing about being a mum. About having fantastic kids that have grown up and they're finding their independence and finding their way in life, and seeing the two of you grow up into the people you are. Being a mother, you often put your children before yourself, or I always try to do that to make sure that you are healthy, happy and safe, especially while you're growing up.
My favourite thing about being a mum is having friends. Actually, yeah, you're my friends. Yeah, you're my friends. And I can hang out, and I can be at River, and I can look at the boats, and I can have you here filming me, because yous are like witnesses to my life. That's what it is, yous are witnesses to my life. So that I did a good job.
She's gonna cry.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because you can actually say, you know what, she did a good job. She did something in her life valuable. She raised us, she loved us. And that's what, you're witnesses to my life.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
I think that's the cutest package we've ever had.
Thanks,
we've had a lot of
Mum.
animal ones too, so that tops it 100%.
Completely, yeah. My mum was just so flat out during the week that when I asked her to sit down with me and do that, she was like, "Oh, Sarah, if I had time to sit down with you and do that, I would have time to sit down with my husband." So, yeah, that was my result.
My mum's a bit camera shy, but that was just a really cute package. I think it's just really nice to get to know our families, and let other people see that.
And I guarantee that our mums, I promise you, they're just as lovely and just as cuddly. right?
Right, 100%. And speaking of wonderful women, we've got Hana Ramadan here today, who is a student from La Trobe University, but is also a very popular content creator on YouTube and Instagram. Hello.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
That's okay. How was your Mother's Day?
Yeah, it was really good. I got to spend time with my mum, my grandmother, and my sisters, which was really nice.
Yeah. Big family?
Yeah, definitely. I've got 4 sisters, so it's nice for them to
That's
come
a lot
over.
of women.
yeah. And some of them are mums as well, so it's really nice to
beautiful.
celebrate
So
them
you got
as
a lot of little ones.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. So
tell us a bit about what sort of content you create.
Yeah, sure. So my content is really based around health, beauty, lifestyle and fashion. I like to make YouTube videos and I also like to create Instagram content as well.
And I've watched your stuff and it's really cool.
Thank you.
What's the most exciting part of what you do?
The fact that I get to do what I love every day. That's, I guess, the best part of what I do. And the amount of opportunities I get because of it is amazing. Yeah.
What's the best opportunity you've had so far that you've come across because of your content?
Yeah. The best opportunity I'd say would be working with BellaBox and HelloFresh. I couldn't think of a more perfect opportunity because it mixes both my worlds of health and beauty. So it was a really good opportunity, to be able to work with both companies.
Beautiful.
So not only do you have your own YouTube channel, but you also work part-time and you're a full-time university student. So how do you balance everything?
It is hard. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people think that it might be a bit easy, but it's very hard. I try to make sure that I've got work-life balance. That's the most important thing for me because I don't want to overwork myself or overstress myself. So I sort of have a schedule of when's what or how to do what. Yeah.
And I noticed that you prefer to call yourself a content creator over an influencer. Is there a reason why you prefer content creator as opposed to the word influencer?
Yes, because I don't like to think of myself as a person who influences people. Everyone has their own opinions, their own mind to make. I don't want to necessarily influence anyone. So if people sort of like or are drawn to what I do, then that's just a positive of what I guess do.
Yeah, 100% understand that.
Because you do have so many followers on YouTube and social media, have, girls reached out to you, for advice?
Yeah, definitely. I always get advice when it comes to the videos I create. A lot of people are on their own weight loss journeys and want advice on that. And I always love receiving sort of those messages because it tells me that I'm actually benefiting some people. So by getting those messages, it just sort of tells me that I'm doing something right with what I'm doing.
And that must be a really positive feeling knowing you're helping so many young women out there.
Yeah, definitely. It is a really good feeling, yeah.
And what's your favourite things to create on your YouTube channel? Is it the fashion? Is it the makeup? Is it the healthy living? What's the one that you're really into at the moment?
I think it would be the weight loss videos, creating recipes for people because it's something that people can actually make. And I've had a lot of people make them and get back to me and be like, oh, they're so good or they've helped me out so much. So that's sort of the best part about it.
I watched your meal prep once at the first week of uni to prepare some lunch so I didn't have to buy uni. And I wish I stuck to it because you cooked some amazing things, but I'm just too lazy to meal prep. But oh my God, I have watched your meal prep videos and they're so good. And they're colourful and the editing's great. You're just a gem. I can't.
Thank you.
I've watched some of your videos and I found they're so relatable and it makes me feel like there is someone out there going through the same things and going through the same journey and, it just made me feel really comforting to watch. So that's what you did for me personally. So it was really inspiring.
Thank you so much.
I know that YouTube and being a content creator is a really popular job now. A lot of people want to get into it, and I can totally understand why. What would your tips be for someone who wanted to start a YouTube channel in terms of growing their following and finding their personality on the camera?
Yeah, I just say go for it. A lot of people tell me that they are wanting to do it, but they lack the confidence or they're scared about what other people may think of them. And I think you've just got to block all that out and just go for it. If you don't actually do it, then if you don't put yourself out there, you'll never actually do it. So just block out everything around you, and if it's your passion and you want to be able to do it, then just do it.
And how did you grow your following? How long have you been doing it, and how long did it take you to get to where you are now? Because you have 20,000 followers on Instagram.
Almost 20K. Yep.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
I always get asked this question, and there's no specific like formula for it, I guess. For me, I just went out there not having that in mind, not having the fact that, I'm doing this just to grow my following. I did it just with sharing what I love doing, like the content that I created is things that I love, and I love putting out there. The following was just a bonus. Like I never went out there just to grow my following.
Yeah.
It was always a bonus.
So it was always for the passion, just to express yourself, never to gain a job or anything like that.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's good about those sort of influencers, because I think you can kind of tell the difference. You can see the difference in personalities when you see an influencer who's doing it for the wrong reasons. And I feel like there are a lot of them out there now, so it's so good to see someone genuine creating really great content for people.
Thank you.
In terms of like your healthy eating and your weight loss videos, as a uni student and from your meal prep videos, what's like one tip a student can follow to make sure that like they're sticking to that meal prep, unlike myself?
Yeah, I think just put yourself first when it comes to your health. Like make sure you are getting the required amount of hours of sleep, like 8 hours of sleep. Make sure you're always having the water that you need. Like I always carry around a bottle of water with me wherever I go, so I'm making sure that I'm drinking water and just eating cleanly. Like you don't have to eat amazingly all the time, but just make sure you are eating like wholesome foods that are good for you.
Yeah. And I also wanted to ask, like, is it like hard, the sort of comments you get? Like, do you get negative sort of feedback from people online?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does happen. Like I do get what people call hate comments, but I just always block that out. Like it never gets to me because I've always believed in who I am and what I do, so I just block everything out because I know that it's not correct. Like I don't believe what they say, so it just doesn't get to me.
I can't imagine anyone could say anything bad about you anyways. Also, like, I'm just keep like rambling about questions, but I'm just so interested. But sorry.
No, I love it. I completely agree. I think we've got a really powerful Woman of the Week this week. And it's great to just be on the same level and relate to someone, because that's when I find I feel the most confident.
Yeah.
Someone that really does get it in the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, because you have a following now, do you have to be cautious of the type of people you meet in case they might be, like, not using you, but, like, being your friend for the wrong reasons? Do you have to, like, worry about who you're telling about what you do?
Sometimes, like when I meet new people, I never ever mention what I do.
Yeah.
Like I never mention it. I just say that I'm a uni student until they kind of figure it out for themselves.
Yeah.
But I never go out there when I meet new people and be like, oh, I do this, this, and this, because
you
I
don't
don't
want to brag.
No, I don't want to brag, but I don't want to also be known as just doing that, because
Yeah.
I do a lot more than just sort of create content. But I sometimes have to be cautious, but it's never something that I always have to take into consideration. Like I treat people as they are, like as I see them.
Yeah.
So it's never something, I really have to consider.
And, like, what other things do you do? Tell us a bit about something else you do besides YouTube.
Yeah, what do you study here at university?
Yeah, I study the Bachelor of Media and Communications, so I'm majoring in public relations. I also work at Sephora.
Nice. What a job.
Casually, yeah, it's a really good job. It ties into what I do. And I also intern. But yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you so much
Love
for
you,
having
Hannah.
me.
Thank you so much for that. I definitely feel a bit more confident going into my side of the week, knowing that, it is just a balance and that there are people that are just trying and working as hard. And if you can do it, Hannah, I'm sure I should be able to be a bit stronger and get through it.
And you can follow your Instagram. It's at Hana Ramadan _ right?
2 underscores.
2
Yeah,
underscores.
okay.
And you can keep up with what Hannah's up to. Thanks for
And
joining us.
subscribe to her YouTube channel.
Yes, do it.
Yes.
It's great.
Watch those healthy recipes.
Get fit, guys.
Thanks so much for having me.
No worries, thank you. We now have your news recap.
Oh, yes, there is more going on in the world. So, members of one family, including a mother with young children, were behind several blasts targeting churches in Indonesia. Indonesia's intelligence agency revealed that the bombing were likely to be linked to an incident that resulted in 5 killings earlier in the month. Malcolm Turnbull, the latest news poll has seen Malcolm Turnbull strengthen his position as Australia's preferred Prime Minister and his equal best result since the 2016 election. An 8-point jump in his approval rating has taken the Liberal leader to 46%, while opposition leader Bill Shorten has taken a slight drop to 32%. The Bureau of Meteorology has advised that this morning fog is expected to hang around and linger for the week, reaching a top peak throughout the next 5 days of 15 degrees. So make sure all students out there and family and friends all rugged up and umbrellas again. And that's the latest happening here in Melbourne.
So, last week was the Met Gala.
Oh, yes. That
Love
was
that
quite,
time of year.
yes.
Love it so much. And the theme was the Catholic imagination. And I know that the Morning Journal team here loves to talk some fashion gossip. Because who doesn't?
Of course. You've got to keep on trend. If you don't keep on trend, I mean, you know, you just have to dress. You have to dress keeping up with the times, I believe.
We have Alisha and SJ who just crawled into the studio.
Yes, here to talk about it. We need the experts.
I was trying so hard to keep a straight face.
We thought we'd reach out for the experts, but then we realised the experts were right here on the Morning Journal team. So thanks for joining us, girls.
Just appeared, guys.
Out of thin air. Magic, guys, magic.
So tell us a little bit about the outfits that happened at the Met Gala.
Okay, so first up we have Hailey Baldwin, and she is wearing an icy blue gown, and I know Jazz and I are not a big fan of this. She didn't really follow the theme of Catholicism at all. And she was wearing a flower crown, which Jazz and I had a big discussion about. And it was just a bit childish. We can see it up on the screen now. And, of course, she looks beautiful. But Jazz and I, yeah.
Look, I'm going to be a savage and just say, like, I would wear that to my school formal. This is the Met Gala, guys. If you are a celebrity, you've got to put in your effort.
Completely.
I mean, she looks beautiful.
She does. Oh, my God, I'm such a mean person. She looks gorgeous. But
she looks gorgeous,
seriously.
but it's the Met Gala. We got to step it up.
Yeah.
She looks, was she maybe going for an angel look?
I thought more like when I looked at her, Garden of Eden came to mind.
I wouldn't have thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Really sorry, Hailey.
But I don't know how, like, when I walk into a church, like, I'm sorry, but flowers, like garden. I mean, I don't see that in a Catholic church.
No.
I would have dressed up as a giant candle or something if I was at the Met Gala.
Oh my God, a candle from the Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, straight out.
That would be good. Yes, be our guest.
Imagine if we all went to the Met Gala and dressed
I'd go so all
Yeah,
out.
I'll go as the lighter box so that, you know, Jazz stays lit.
Thanks.
All right, next up.
We have Rihanna, and I love Rihanna. She is amazing. She always has the best outfits at the Met Gala.
And in general.
Yes, and in general. And she just looks like an absolute queen.
Queen.
Sort of like the Pope, but
She's definitely
Yeah, the Pope.
I think that was her. She was channeling the Pope vibes. And I love it because she's followed the theme, and she also looks beautiful and gorgeous.
Can we vote Rihanna for Pope?
Yes.
Like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Rihanna 2020 Pope.
I did though, in some of the shots that were posted on social media, I thought that the outfit was a bit unflattering on her. Did you guys notice that? It was spoken about on entertainment talks.
It does
around
look
the
a
world
bit
as well.
boxy, I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
But I think because it's so heavy, it's such a heavy outfit, it's kind of hard to look sort of sexy in it. But I think she definitely pulls it off.
I don't know
yeah.
how she walked around in that. Honestly, like I'd be like chained to the floor.
Well,
Beauty
if
is
you're
pain.
Trying to look like the Pope, you're not gonna try be sexy. Do that, you know. So
No, completely.
No, but I just feel like she walked around like it was a feather. Like I don't like there's that saying like, you know, it's ugly until Rihanna wears it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
that's so true. Like anything she wears, she pulls off. She could make a paper bag look good.
Yeah,
That woman,
and it
honestly.
shows that she's just put a lot of effort into it, which the Met Gala deserves.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the sort of content I want to see. So
Yeah.
next year, Met Gala, Hailey Baldwin, if you're listening.
Just like Rihanna, just a bit more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or a stylist.
So next up we have Kendall Jenner, which I thought this was a bit of a safe choice for Jenner. I mean, she always wears something sort of safe, but I love this. She looks beautiful in a white jumpsuit with some chiffon sleeves. And she's just sexy. She can wear whatever and just look amazing. But
I love this. I love this look. This was one of my favourite looks of the Met Gala, if not my favourite. The elegance. This is what, you know, church is. It is elegance, it is grace, and it is purity, and I think that's really what this represented.
That's a good way to look at it because I thought it was boring. I'm so bad.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah, I did. I feel like that's something I could wear to my 21st if I had the money. Like, this is Met Gala. Like,
I just
want
think
bling.
she didn't follow the theme.
Yeah.
Like some people, like Kim Kardashian, she just wore a cross on herself. It's like, well, that's not really following the theme. But she does look beautiful, and
yeah, you are.
saw this
You are
meme.
right, Jazz. Like I would wear that.
to a 21st.
yeah.
I saw this meme and it was like she did follow the theme. Like, you know the bread you get? Like,
Oh, the
Oh, yeah,
oh
she's
my
bread.
God, body of
Yeah, she's
pride.
bread. Yeah.
That is
Well, I
so
think she
weird.
looks great for bread, and if
Me
Kendall
too,
Jenner,
Sarah.
if that's what you were going for, you pulled it off.
oh, she does look beautiful though. Like, I feel like I need to say, like, they do look gorgeous, but like, I'm the type of person, like, it's like rocking up, like, say you have a 21st, right? And the theme is black and white and you rock up in a red dress. Like, you know, you'd be a bit of, you know, you have to dress up for Met Gala. You have to go
You'd stand
all
out
out.
more than Jenna. in a red dress.
Yeah, definitely. So next up we have Selena Gomez, and she dressed in a peach gown, and she looks absolutely gorgeous, but there was just a few things that I didn't like about this outfit. Her fake tan is a bit strong. Not sure what's going on there, but
just a tad.
She needs some help. And her hair was just, I'm not too sure what to say about it. It looks like she's from the 80s, and I've never seen Selena Gomez look like this. Although she looks gorgeous, it's just a bit all wrong.
Not her best. It's
yeah.
not her
It's
best.
all wrong.
Do you know,
It's not flattering.
Yeah.
It's puffy. It's, okay, she looks like she has been living in the wilderness. Her hair has just, I don't know, she's been struggling for a good shower, and she couldn't find any material to wear, so she just scrapped everything up that she could and just put something together.
I mean, the dress is beautiful. It's just her hair and her makeup.
I
is
don't
just,
love the dress.
You don't like the dress?
I feel like it's a nightie. I feel like we would wear it to bed.
It does look like.
Actually, I would never wear that to bed.
Look,
I
you
would
know
wear
what?
Peter Alexander pajamas.
Oh, I love some Peter Alexander.
Maybe she was just feeling a bit sick because she's eaten one of those, you know, those beans that just taste awful, and they can be good and they can be bad, and she wanted the good, but she got the bad, and
We know all about those.
Yeah. So over the weekend, I think that you girls tried them out for yourselves. Did you?
We did the beanboozled challenge. Not proud of it.
Oh, let's take a look. Let's
Never
take a look
again.
at that little adventure.
Never again.
I'm so excited to see this.
Yes, a vomit bucket.
Yeah.
We need a bowl. We need a bag. We need water. Hi everyone, it's SJ,
Alisha. Jasmine.
and we're doing the beanboozled challenge. I don't really know why we're putting ourselves through this, but yeah, let's see if we. The aim is to not vomit.
We've got water.
We've got some water.
Sorry, it smells so bad. I'm already done. I guess we'll start off with the white flavour. So it's either spoiled milk or coconut.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
No! I think I got coconut.
I think I got coconut too.
Maybe that was coconut.
I don't know. I think I got coconut.
I got coconut.
Yeah.
I don't know when I got it. I didn't like it. Chin chin!
Chin chin, bon appetit.
That's epic.
I got strawberry banana smoothie.
You're a mole and a half. Oh, it actually. I have fish breath.
Winner, winner.
Yeah, there's no way. My goodness. I didn't get any good ones. Damn it.
Disgusting.
Black. That's licorice or skunk spray. Well, I like. Do you not like licorice?
I'm only a
I
red
like
licorice fan.
Oh, I can eat it, but like it's not my fave.
Oh god, I've been hearing that. No, I forgot licorice. I got skunk spray.
Oh, so I
No, that's just
licorice.
Well, it says this is the 4th edition, so I wouldn't want to taste the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd edition. If anyone's on a diet, this has less than 1 gram of fat total, so knock yourself out.
Next one is
Peach.
or bar. Is that like vomit?
Yeah.
Nah. I got peach.
I think I got peach. I don't know though.
I got peach. I think I did too, but either way I ate it. It was rotten egg or butter popcorn.
I don't really like rotten egg.
I don't think anyone likes rotten eggs, to be honest.
Oh! No. No.
Open your phone. I need something. I was disgusting.
Booker.
Spicy pear.
I
got pear.
That was disgusting. Guys, this is not okay. Like, I'm being serious.
I don't know what this is. I got
That's
pear.
disgusting. I don't know how you're eating it.
Alright,
what
next.
one are we doing?
Lawn clippings.
No. I don't want that one.
Or lime.
You can taste the lime.
Oh, lawn clippings?
Canned dog food.
Oh, that's gonna be the worst one for sure.
Or chocolate pudding.
Oh, I fucking hope. I really hope it's chocolate pudding.
Me too.
I gag when I give my dog food. I don't know if I can do this.
No. Guys,
Chocolate pudding.
Guys, that's disgusting.
I got
That
chocolate
is-
pudding.
No, that's off. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. That was disgusting. That's disgusting.
Well, that's the challenge over, guys.
We hope you enjoyed it because we will not be doing it again.
A one-off. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Yeah. Shall I ask how the challenge went?
I want to gag just watching. But oh my god, so much fun. Like, look, if you've got a weak stomach, don't do it. But if you want to have a laugh, do it. That's my advice. But like, it's just a good way to have fun and have a laugh.
Completely.
Do bring something to spit in though, because you will spit. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, so I think now it is time for more questions for Jazz with our Ask Jazz segment. Yes, don't forget at the morning Dern, #AskJazz.
With your questions.
What have people been tweeting you over the
All right,
week?
so I have this one question. It's like #AskJazz. As uni students, we have a lot to balance, including intimate relationships and family relationships. Which do you think is more important? Oh, that's a tough one. I don't think either one of them is more or less important. I think they're both equally important, to be honest. I feel like your family is your family. Like, that's always like your stable place, you know? And your relationship can also be really stable. I guess it kind of depends on where you are at the relationship. Like, if you've just started, maybe family comes first. Or if, like, you've been in it for, like, 4 or 5 years and your partner practically is family, well, then I guess your only issue is family. Like, I consider my partner to be family now. So, you know, that I consider my intimate relationship to be family. So I would think that when it comes to uni and balancing that, you kind of have to prioritize sometimes. Like, I feel like there's times where uni is really stressful, so you kind of have to put that first. But then there are times when uni's really kick back, you know, you can relax a little. That's when your family and your intimate relationship can come first. So you really just have to kind of decide where you are in terms of, like, at that point in time. So that would be my advice. And the second one comes in, as a student on a budget, what are some tips to save money for everyday essentials for girls like makeup and clothes? Well, everyday essentials, makeup and clothes can be for some women, definitely for me, not for all, I understand that. But as a student on a budget, I think that the best way to do that is to put aside maybe like $20 a week just to save for things that like that and to buy in bulk when it's on sale. Like if Priceline's got 40% off, you have to be at Priceline to get those products, girl. Because if you don't, you're going to have to pay full price like 2 days later. And Priceline sales are only like, you know, for 2 days. So you have to be quick. So that would be my advice. Either put aside money every week to save up for something that you really want, or just get it when it's on sale. Be smart about when you're buying it. That would be my advice. A quick Ask Jazz this week. But that would be my advice to you all.
So now that we've asked about, you know, saving money and things that we can do for that, you actually did some cooking at home.
Yes,
Yeah,
Alisha came past and we cooked an Italian meal coming on from our WOG discussion we had last week. So we cooked something beautiful and it's quite fun and entertaining, so let's go and have a look.
What up? This is how wrap that pasta we're gonna make. It's gonna be tasty and have some tomato paste.
Hi, it's Jasmine.
Hi, it's Alisha.
And today we're cooking pasta all'olio, which is a traditional Italian, pretty simple pasta recipe. Let's get into it.
Tomatoes.
Pasta.
Minced garlic.
Basil.
Okay, so first you put the water into the bowl. Let's go to the sink. Turn on the tap and fill it halfway-ish. for the cherry tomatoes to cook in, and so you're just going to drizzle some oil. Italians like a lot of oil, so you know, get in there. And voila, it's finished. Enjoy and bon appetit.
That looks so delicious.
It
Now I'm
was.
so hungry. Jasmine, why?
It was just so simple, like just easy, quick dish. It's really good from date night, I feel like, or if like you've got the fam over and you need something quick and you've got little ingredients. Perfect. Perfect.
Completely, yeah. We now have some more guests in the studio from the Morning Journal. We're joined with Tynique and Rachel
Love
here
you
to talk
guys.
about
Hi.
Ausland
Hello.
and communication with hands. Because we just talked about cooking, so now we're talking about hands and making things and communicating. So thanks, guys, for joining us in the studio.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, it's great to have you both in. So tell us a little bit about Ausland.
Okay, cool. So Auslan is Australian Sign Language. That's what it's short for. And it's actually recognised as one of Australia's official languages, which is really important because some other countries don't actually have sign language as a recognised official language. So the way I got into Auslan is actually through my VCE at high school. I did it at the Victorian College of the Deaf for 2 years, and then actually got involved with it here at La Trobe. So today I thought I could give you guys a bit of a tutorial and show you a few things.
We're completely ready. Let's go.
All right, cool. So first I just want to say hi.
Is that hi?
Hi, that's hi. It's really simple.
Hello.
You can give it a bit of pizzazz if you
I
want,
wonder if
but it's
anyone
really
from outside's
simple.
going to wave back. Hey, waved!
Okay, and second I want to ask, how are you all?
How do I say good?
So first we'll learn how are you before you tell me how you are. And so the hand shape we call, so you learn Auslan through hand shape. So this one is called flat to good. So that's a good hand shape. This is a flat hand shape. So we go flat to good.
Okay.
That's how are you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so if you want to say good, we say good. And if you want to say bad, we say bad.
This is like semi?
Yeah, it's like
50-50.
Yeah, I'm going to use this a lot.
Or you can actually say, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say, all
Keep
right.
punching, keep it punching.
Yeah. So we've got good, bad, all right. And now because I know I was inspired by that beanboozled video to show you guys how to say like and dislike. So this is like. And it's all about the facial expression as well.
Yeah.
So Auslan is made up of 5 different things, which is hand shape, orientation, location, movement, and emotion.
Okay.
So it's all these things that go into it. So yeah, if you're saying like, you've got to do this, which is a flat hand shape to your chest, and then you also go like. Yeah, but if you want to say dislike, it's like, it's about the facial expression.
Okay. Yeah. Over
So-
exaggerated.
Yeah, it's really about expressing yourself through your face.
How long did it take you to learn? Because I feel like this would be quite difficult. Like any language is hard to learn.
Yeah, any language is hard to learn, but I think if you're a kinesthetic learner, and I think I am, and that's people who learn with their bodies
Yeah.
by doing,
Yeah.
then it's a really easy thing to pick up, and it comes in handy so often.
Yeah.
And I know Rachel has actually been talking to a few people that
Yeah.
use sign language.
I have. So at the moment, for one of the subjects here at La Trobe, I am a director of a documentary called Gloves Off, and it's about the capabilities of human hands. And so what I've been really interested in filming and having for this documentary is Auslan. And so over the weekend, we actually interviewed Gary from Diamond Valley Learning Centre, and he none of my crew can sign, and so it was a really interesting experience for us to communicate with him. And so he signed the whole interview. I didn't ask him any questions. We just told him beforehand what to sign, and about why his hands are important to him. And so it's all really about how he uses them to communicate and how they're his language. And it's really interesting because we've also had those answers from a musician who we interviewed. She said that it's her way to communicate because when she was in Burkina Faso doing African drumming, they would communicate through the drum because she couldn't speak the language. And so she also used her hands to communicate, but in a completely different way. And so it's really interesting how important our hands are, not just for like everyday things, but for our careers and things like that. And so we've got people saying that their hands are their livelihoods because they need them for their jobs. And so it's really interesting.
Definitely, yeah. You meet a whole different range of people and how they use their hands. And I know Greg is even part of a thing called Hands to Communicate, which is, it's amazing. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for having us on today. Yeah. And thanks for letting us share a bit about Auslan, which is amazing. And like Rachel is doing, you can actually use it in things that you wouldn't even imagine. So it's a good thing to learn.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
I understand that 100%.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me.
How do you say thank you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
How do I say love you?
It's like this.
That's so cool. And love you?
Yeah, love you.
Okay. Yeah. Love you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Now, we also have a giveaway that we'd been talking about last week for Mother's Day. I believe we're giving away some cupcakes. And it involved a tweet where you would go on Twitter and you would say what your favourite thing that you love about your mum is. So I don't know if we've got the winner with us at the moment. I'm not too sure.
That's okay, but we did have that competition running just kind of to show the appreciation and to give something back.
Yeah.
And cupcakes, you know what, you did see the cooking segment. It is always good to just be at home and to make something to share around with people, kind of brings a sense of culture.
Everyone loves cupcakes, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good gift. We will tweet the winner at the Morning Journ and they can see what they've won. So, yeah, it's good to celebrate Mother's Day, good to give back. I think giving is a really good way to feel good about yourself and help others as well. So I feel like it's great that we've done this for someone, a daughter and their mum or a son or mum or
even talking about like the sign language. I find that, it's always interesting to learn how others communicate that can't, have everything in terms of, being able to hear and be able to see and just, have all those things that we might take for granted as well. So that's something that I think has been really important to talk about on the show this
I feel like I don't really think about how often I use my hands or like how I use them. I feel like they're such an essential part of our bodies.
Absolutely.
And I like the idea that our faces can help with that as well. Like through our emotions, through our facial expressions and through our hands, we can communicate with someone who we maybe thought we couldn't communicate to before. And I think it's really important, not only just to communicate, but also like there's a situation where someone who is deaf and they need to speak and they're in a situation where their life's in danger. It's good to know that there would be someone out there who would be able to communicate with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So when, speaking of using your hands a lot and things like that, when you were cooking, Jasmine, what were some of the challenges that you found, actually? Because we didn't see that in the video.
Alisha did most of the cooking.
Oh, right.
I just kind of stood there and filmed.
Yeah.
But it's such an easy dish that there were hardly any issues. I'm just really bad at cutting tomatoes, so I let her do that. But yeah, but we've come to the end of our show this week. I think we had a good show, a good mix of some fun and some serious topics. Great to hear about the budget, but also good to see something a bit wacky with that bean challenge, never again. But yeah, we're at the end of our show.
Yeah, absolutely. Just take away from the fact that definitely appreciate those around you.
100%.
Always be aware of those in need because there is a lot of things that are happening in the world that are bad at the moment, as the news was saying. So just keep sure that you do appreciate those and be in the competition that we do have, paying attention to the giveaways here on The Morning Journ. Don't forget you can tweet us at The Morning Journ and on Instagram, and you can watch replayed episodes on upstart.net.au.
Thank you for joining us. I think some sign.
Was this by? Wait, I can't remember.
Well, this was Love You, so.
Yeah, love you. And
Love
don't forget
fans.
to tune in at The Morning Journ.
Bye.
Bye.